Brooklyn Independent Television.
This week on In the Zone, we got blow-by-blow profiles and round-by-round interviews and maybe a boxing lesson or two. All that and more from Gleasons Gym on In the Zone. In case you're just joining us, we are here at Gleasons Gym, the world's most famous boxing gym, and had several champions have come out of this gym. And joining me also to discuss the Daily News Golden Gloves that are moving to Brooklyn for the finals in April 18th and April 19th is Stephen Lorenzo of the Daily News. Thanks.
No problem.
Man, this is unbelievable that the finals are going to be held here in Brooklyn at the Barclay Center. Why the change?
Well, it's a big switch. There's 85 straight years at Madison Square Garden. We felt like there was a need for a move. The Barclay Center in Brooklyn has been a great partner to the Daily News. When you first come up out of that subway stop, that's Daily News Plaza right there. And they've been very excited to welcome us and start a new chapter in Gloves history.
Now, especially history, you got to talk about Mark Breland. You got to talk about Riddick Bowe. I believe even Floyd Patterson.
Sugar Ray Robinson. You've got over 30 champions have been produced by the Daily News Golden Gloves. It's more than any other amateur tournament. Just great champions all around. Like you said, Mark Breland, one of the greatest amateurs to ever come out of any tournament, any gym. Riddick Bowe, like you said, you mentioned a bunch of champions. Just a proud history, and we're excited to continue it in Brooklyn. Hopefully the next batch of Sugar Ray Robinsons are in our midst this year.
The affiliation with the Golden Gloves and the Daily News, explain that. How did that get started also?
Well, it started in 1927. An old editor named Paul Gallico started the idea, ran it by J.M. Patterson, who was the guy that owned the news back then, and he gave it the okay, and obviously it's blossomed into a huge tournament since 1927. It was basically the model for amateur tournaments throughout the nation and the world over, and the Daily News was the forerunner for that whole tournament.
Now the tournament started this year started back in November. It starts every fall?
Well, yeah, I mean, the planning as far as where the venues are going to be, sanction fees, all that sort of stuff. We have to start planning that stuff in November. Physicals are always first week or second week in January, and then the tournament itself starts usually the end of January into the finals in April.
Now you're also involved with the Metro Association, Boxing Association?
USA Boxing Metro is the sanctioning body that sanctions every event, referees and so forth. They're the monitoring body, if you will, that oversees the tournament. But it's the Daily News Golden Gloves. We run it, and USA Boxing sanctions it.
Now there's been some exciting fights. Let's go over some of those fights that you've covered so far.
This year?
Yeah.
You've had some really good ones. A couple people we expected to be in the finals knocked out. We had a kid, Brian Sabayo, who was from Brooklyn, walking distance from the Barclay Center, which unfortunately would have been a good story for me to cover. He got knocked out by Peter Dobson, which was a great fight. You can never really expect a champion because there always are upsets in this kind of thing, except when you mention someone like Christina Cruz, who is going for her 7th straight title, and she will be the first Daily News contestant ever to win 7 in general, but she will win 7 straight if she wins this year.
What weight class is she in?
She's in 125 this year, but she's gone, I believe, from 112 to 119 to 125. She's all over the place. She's pretty special.
Now what about what used to be the shining jewel in boxing was the heavyweight division? How's the heavyweight division look?
Well, in the amateur ranks, you always have some good guys coming through. We had a guy the last 3 or 4 years named Joe Williams, who was he used to fight out of Rockaway Ropes. He was a great champion. He won, I believe, 3 gloves, and he's moved on to the professional level right now. And we have some exciting guys this year that we're hoping follow in his footsteps.
Speaking of fighters, we have an up and close and personal look for our first profile.
В 2006 году меня привел Олег Жеребненко.
My uncle Oleg Zerebnenko brought me into Brighton Boxing Gym in 2006.
Соответственно,
And right after that I fought my first fight in Gleasons Gym and I won by knockout in first round.
в первую очередь я хотел сказать большое спасибо
I want to thank all people who organize this tournament because it's very important for youth. That's the first step to become a professional, to become a better boxer. And I became a United States citizen this year, and I am planning to continue and succeed in boxing.
Да, я помню свой первый урок.
My first lesson was
Бокс учит
boxing teaches responsibility, to be strong, and to respect older people. And boxing unites all people together, no matter of your color of your skin.
Я, так как и все боксеры, имею волнение.
Like all boxers, I feel nervous and excitement when I go to the ring. But I respect all my opponents. Nevertheless, all boxers who box at this tournament, the winner is the best boxer. And I'm trying to win.
Так как я и говорил, что
Brooklyn is my second house, and I'm proud to box in Brooklyn, and I want to win and to show that I'm deserve to be a champion and to be in national team.
We're back here at Gleasons Gym, the world's most famous boxing gym in the world. And joining me is Stephen Lorenzo of the Daily News. Stephen, tell us a little about yourself.
I got started with boxing kind of luckily. I stumbled into the job and they gave me a shot. I had never actually seen a live boxing match before I started covering it. Hopefully I've been doing a good job. I seem to have built an audience with the readers, and I really enjoy it. I come from Jersey Shore down in Jersey. I'm a Jersey guy, just moved up to New York recently. And I really enjoy this sport. It's very different from anything else. You know, it's an individual sport where basically the goal is to beat the other person senseless before the last bell rings. But there's always a respect afterwards. There's always a hug or a high five with the gloves or something like that. There's just a lot of respect in the ring. It's a very intriguing sport.
And no matter how much training you do, it's all up to you once you get inside.
How much training?
How much training you do during training sessions, it's all up to you once you get inside.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's, you have your coach there, but, it's really you in the spotlight. It's you versus the other person. And that's why training's so important. That's why these guys are in the gym so often. It really comes down to endurance and willpower.
And it's also, some of the cases, you might be preparing for a particular fighter, and then that fighter may get sick or might have to pull out.
Right.
And you have to adjust.
You're right. I mean, it's similar to any other sport in that sense where, you prepare and the scouting report might be there and then that person's not there. But once you're in the ring, it's really a chess match.
Like say, for instance, if the Rams are playing the Jets, that weekend they're going to play.
Exactly.
But you may be planning for a particular fighter, and that fighter may get sick or pull out.
Yeah, and that's the nature of the beast in this tournament. Any day you or another person in the tournament could fall out of the ranks, and you just have to fight who's in the opposite corner.
And what is the age range also?
17 to 34.
Wow. And one time it was in the early 20s. Why did they move it to the 30s?
Well, that's USA Boxing's thing. That's a sanctioning issue, and that goes all the way to the national committees in Colorado. But it's a broad range, and it is exciting when you get certain fights between 17, 18-year-old kids and 34, 33-year-old guys, and really intriguing. You don't really see that in too many other sports.
And you also have a lot of professionals also that participate in the sport, correct? Professional workers, professional doctors, lawyers.
Yeah. We have great doctors on staff that take time out of their schedules to be there, who you know, usually are boxing enthusiasts themselves. It's not about the money for those guys. They just really enjoy it. And, you know, guys, trainers that are in the sidelines that work for the amateur ranks, but also work in the professional ones as well.
Who are some of the hot fighters especially here in Brooklyn?
Well, Vasily Zerebnenko is a tremendous fighter. He might be the best guy we have in the tournament. He's from around the Brighton Beach area. He's a Kazakhstani native, came over here. He's won 2 gloves. He's going for his 3rd this year. He's got a good shot. He's in the semifinals, so we'll see if he ends up in the Barclay Center. Also, you're going to have a heck of a matchup in the 114-pound open class between Khalid Twitey and Jordan Rodriguez. Jordan Rodriguez is a free swinger. He can knock you out with 1 punch, where Twitey's a 17-year-old kid that relies on precision. And that should be a really interesting fight.
So he basically picks and chooses how he throws his
shots.
Right,
you know, he sees an opening, he takes it, and usually converts.
In terms of female boxing, Brooklyn has a pretty good one.
Yeah, you know, young lady named Berenice, we're very excited about to see her in the ring. Hopefully she can be the next Christina Cruz. Christina obviously is a young lady going for her 7th straight this year. Can't really mention the Golden Gloves, men or women, without Christina Cruz now. She has a chance to be the...
So she's right up there with Mark Breland.
She beat Breland last year with 6 overall. Breland had 5 consecutive. She had 6 consecutive last year. She'll have 7 this year, which will be the most ever in the gloves total. But she will also have them consecutively if she wins.
Christina Cruz.
Christina
now,
Cruz.
Now, what
right.
about this other one, Berenice?
Berenice, you know, I haven't seen her fight yet. She's in the finals because she had a low number of people in her weight class. But we're excited to have a Brooklynite in the finals in the male side as well as the female side.
So she's on her way to Barclays.
Well, yeah. Let's hope she can bring the females some success at the Barclays Center. As a Brooklynite herself.
All right, Steve, hold on that conversation. We're going to have a look at one of Brooklyn's best, who holds no punches.
It was at a young age, around like 5, 6 years old. I would always love watching boxing on TV and stuff. But my uncle was a big fan of boxing. He finally came from our country, Yemen. And then I asked him, can he take me to a boxing gym? And he brought me to Gleasons, and ever since then, every day I've been coming. The Daily News Golden Gloves is a very big tournament for me. I've been waiting for it since I was 9 years old, and I'm finally here. I beat 2 former Golden Glove champions already, and I'm just ready to take it on. My first boxing lesson, I remember I was walking up the stairs in the gym, and all I heard was yelling and stuff. Zab Judah was in the gym sparring. He broke some guy's nose. And I met my coach, and I learned to be humble, to stay off the streets, because in the streets there's a lot of trouble. This boxing kept me in the gym, kept me busy, kept me away from all the negativity stuff out there. I actually live a couple of blocks away from the Barclay Center. And being born and raised in Brooklyn and having to fight the Daily News Golden Gloves in Brooklyn is a very big thing for me. I'm gonna have a lot of supporters out there, and I'm just ready to take it on. The way you walk into the ring is whether you're gonna win or lose. So if you go in the ring having confidence, you know you're gonna win, most likely you're gonna win the fight. That's how I look at it. I mean, once I lace my gloves on, all my nerves, everything goes away. I'm ready. This is what I do. I got into a lot of trouble when I was younger, and somebody actually, as a joke, was like, you should get paid for fighting. And I just stumbled into a gym one day, and I was getting whooped out. I actually got hit in the solar plex, and I remember thinking, like, yo, do I really want to do this? I ended up knocking the guy down, though. And I was like, all right, maybe this is for me. Just to be on the Daily News, it means a ton. The history here is great, you know? This is the biggest tournament in New York. And to have people, I remember being in the mall in Staten Island one time, and someone was like, I seen your fight in the finals, so it's a great feeling. Great. Without boxing, I'd probably still be, you know, arrogant. But I'm real humble now, real humble, day by day. I'm always laughing and joking. Everybody thinks I'm quite the character. You know, you could even catch some of my fights, I'm laughing throughout the fights and everything. I'm never nervous, I'm amped, I'm excited. from being a Brooklyn kid, if this didn't excite you to fight at the Barclay Center, then I don't know what you're doing this for.
Stephen, this is your what? Your second year?
My second
covering
year
the Golden Glove.
Yes,
right?
I'm the
Golden
ringside
Glove.
reporter for the Daily News. Second year, and it's first year and second year equally as enjoyable.
How was the first year for you?
You know, a little nerve-wracking. I told you I hadn't had too much exposure to the boxing world, but what I did to get myself prepared was I would watch a lot of boxing matches on mute, and I would kind of take notes and you know, see how I was doing with the jargon and all that stuff myself. And then I'd rewatch the same round, look at the notes I typed, and see how I compared to the commentators. And I think that was a good tool to help me out. But yeah, it's a really enjoyable sport, really interesting world, the boxing world.
When you look at it now, coming up, you look at these fights, going to Barclays, this must be real exciting also, the change of venue.
It is. I mean, it's exciting from a reporter's perspective. It's also from the boxer's perspective. I mean, for the past several years, we've fought at Madison Square Garden in the theater. And when these boxers start to appreciate that they're going to be fighting in the Barclays Arena, that's a big deal. I mean, for whether you're 34 years old or if you're a kid, I can't imagine fighting or performing on that sort of stage.
And the first one.
Right. The first one. I mean, anybody that makes it there this year is making history, and I'm proud to be a part of it as the first reporter there as well.
Any exciting fighters also, the personalities that you ran across?
Yeah, you get some guys like a LaShawn Rodriguez who won last year, who's very soft-spoken, and you can't really figure out how he hits people for a living. And then you get guys that talk the talk. We had a kid named Shaquille Leon this year who just really boisterous, and we really wanted to make his voice heard. Jordan Rodriguez, actually, for example, who's going to be in the 114-pound open class final, who's also from Brooklyn. He's a big talker too, and it's great when guys can back up the talk.
When it comes to gyms, which gym produces the most champions? Is it Gleasons? Is it?
Well, there's New York is great with all the gyms they have, really. I mean, Gleasons is obviously has a ton of history. You have Freeport PAL up in Long Island with Joe Higgins. It's a great gym. Veterans Memorial up there is a great gym. And then that
was also the gym that produced Howard Davis, correct? Was it?
Howard Davis came out of the Glen Cove area.
Okay, Glen Cove.
I'm not sure exactly if he came out of. I know he's Long Island, but he came from the Glen Cove area. And then you have a gym like Mendez Boxing Club in Manhattan, which is a great one as well. There's a ton of gyms around the Big Apple.
Okay. How do you see the finals?
Well, I made the mistake of making my predictions beforehand last year. I mean, not publicly, but privately with a couple people, and I was way off. I mean, with the exception of a few really stud, champions, you really can't predict this sport. It's just great to watch these guys battle it out, and men and women battle it out.
Now, we were talking a little bit about the trainers, but did you get to know a lot of the trainers also?
Yeah, some trainers are sure to come over with their athletes when they get interviewed. Others hang in the shadows, but you get a sense of who the great trainers are by which one of their athletes make it the furthest, and the number of people they train continue on in the tournament each year.
Who's some of those hot trainers that are out there?
Joe Higgins is a great trainer. He's a great guy. He's always there for a call. The guy Murph up in Veterans Memorial, another great guy. Really, two good guys that produce a lot of very good Long Island champions.
Okay. In terms of also the Golden Gloves on the female perspective, you guys also train the females too?
Yeah, there's. It's amazing. There's really no turnover with that. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a guy or girl. These guys will take you under your wing, and they're really behind you to, make you the best you can be.
All right, Steve. It's nice talking to you about boxing.
Thanks a lot.
I'm sure I will see you at the finals. And this is also our final profile. We'll be talking to you. Also, hopefully, we'll see you at the finals. This is a wrap up for In the Zone. I'm Micheal Bellamy. Take care and have a safe week. Bye bye.
Before, when I was a kid, I was kind of tough guy, I wanted to do some crazy things. So after my father found out that there was a boxing club, we actually get into it. So I was like, I like it, I want to do it, you know. I actually know like a lot of guys who won the Golden Gloves, you know, and I want to be like them, you know. I want to get the chain, you know. I respect this competition. My first boxing lesson, I actually found my teammate. He's really experienced guy, so he actually beat me up, you know. But I actually learned how to protect myself, you know. I also learned like discipline. Like I'm not fighting outside because boxing actually taught me like how to not give up in life, you know. If you want to get something, you gotta fight for it, you know. I think that first time everybody's nervous, you know. That's natural. Like I'm not really scared or something, but I'm thinking, you know, what's gonna happen, you know. But when we fight, you know, I just feel the combinations. I'm not thinking, I just feel. So that keeps me to calm down, you know. Just protect yourself and just move. Daily News Golden Gloves really means to me a lot because if I win this, then maybe Olympics, you know, that's my goal right now. I feel like I'm better than novice, you know. I mean novice, but I'm better than, I'm high level, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 28 seconds of round number 3. Referee Ernesto Rodriguez calls a halt to the action due to an injury to the boxer in the gold corner. Your winner, on to the finals in the blue corner, Becca Golbatashvili.
Watch this and other Brooklyn Independent Television episodes online at breakartsmedia.org/BIT.